I said at the last video that I thought I'd have to pretty much win every game to stand a chance of possibly winning the title, and even then unlikely, but maybe finishing second. We haven't done that, but it says a lot that it is not quite impossible yet that we could win the league, and it's the 23rd of March. Let's see how well we've done. Quick little interruption though before we get on with today's main business. As you can see, we have some good news. I was hoping that this would happen soon because we are in a bit of financial trouble. We're going to need more than that, but it's a good start. £600,000 to help with running costs. It will obviously help. We really need a takeover that we can clear these debts and sort of almost start again. Obviously, getting promoted would help with that. It would make the club more attractive for investors as well. So that's something that we need to think about. But obviously, £600,000 is a decent amount of money, probably about 25% of the running cost for a whole year. So that's not bad at all. And obviously, we will be making some of that money back on ticket sales and so on. So that's good news. I will be back shortly. We are not yet at the games that I'm going to be seeing today, but you will see them right now. So from the last game, which was the Virtus Francavilla game, as you can see, we've lost a few games, but we've won quite a few as well. When we were winning all these games in a row, we had one defeat in, how many is that? 2, 4, 6, 7. One defeat in 7. I really did think that a title race might be back on. These 2 defeats to Messina and Catania have probably, well, I think pretty much certainly put the Mockers on that. But it's certainly not impossible, and the idea that we might perhaps manage to squeeze into second or third is certainly not impossible. Fourth is the very minimum I would expect from here, to be honest, given the form we're in. I'd be disappointed if we didn't make that. And I want to see us really push for trying to catch Foggia and Monopoly, even if it's probably not going to happen. The fact that we're starting against Monopoly makes me much more confident that we will, that we could catch Monopoly. Juve Stabia, who were top at the point of the last video, have, as you can see, fallen away quite badly. They've had a pretty poor run. You can see there, 1 win in 8 games. So a good time to be playing them, potentially. But we will be playing Monopoly first, and then Juve Stabia after that. Monopoly, obviously, a team that we definitely want to be trying to catch. So this is the team that we're going to be going with today. Francesco Rolla is back in the side, and as you can see, he's in pretty good nick. He's been getting the odd goal. I think, well, 1 goal and 1 assist. I don't think he had any before he came back into the team. It's really good to have him back consistently now, and hopefully that is a sign of things to come. We have switched back, therefore, to our wingers system because Rolla is such an important player when he is fit. Yes, we have a bit of a problem at left wing. I'd like to improve that. Dimarco is going to come in today. He's in good form, mainly playing for the under-20s. But I think that might be enough to get him to make me think he should be in the team for now. So that, I think, is what we're going to be doing for this game. I'm just trying to check whether there are any other changes I might want to make. I don't think there are. So we will go through and see what we can do. Kick off, and Brigliadori starts things off here. This is, of course, a new formation that we're in now. Brigliadori, 20 seconds or 19 seconds into the game, must be one of the fastest goals in our history, if not the fastest. Roller involved. And that's fantastic. As I say, this is not quite the same tactic that we were playing when Roller was last in the team. So since he's come back in, he's getting used to a new tactic that we've kind of designed with him in mind, because before that it was going quite well with our system of playing with the 2 strikers and the attacking midfielder. So what I've done is instead of going for that system, we've gone for a very similar system, but with 2 wingers and a striker instead. And what a goal that was from Dimarco. Great shot. Came from nowhere, that. This is really, really good news. So yeah, it's a new system for him. But everyone else is in very, very similar roles. Obviously, we're having to play a winger. The left-sided wing, and they go another Roller goal. We are looking very good here against one of the top teams in the league. But yeah, the left-sided midfielder role is a bit of an issue. I can't really get any kind of consistency there. Latelat's not really up to it. I think he's more of a right-sided player. And Dimarco, I mean, he's definitely more of a left back than a left winger. Brigliadori, 4-0, and it's only 16 minutes in. I really was not expecting this today. It's good that we've timed this for a video. We don't always do it. Sometimes we have some very dull games. But yeah, it's very good news. As you can see, Dimarco, he looks like he's probably more suited to being a striker than, being a left back than a winger. Having said that, I'm not so sure, you know. That's what my assistants perhaps think. I'm not so sure. I think maybe he's actually fine there. Ideally, perhaps he might be a left winger rather than an inside forward. That's the only thing I might change. I don't know how that's happened, sorry. Yes, if I go to the tactics here, I might make him into a winger instead of an inside forward, I think, because I think that's more likely to suit him. Although the fact that he's got a goal in this game already is good news, and probably because he was cutting in. And we've reached half-time with one of the more dominant performances I can remember. Very little XG, interestingly. Obviously looks dominant because of the scale of the graph, but very little XG. We've just been finishing well. Good side for finishing, clearly, at the moment. Marino finds Brigliadori, can't quite apply the finish. Marino again, nice shot, and Brigliadori is there, but it can't quite get into it. Be nice to get a few more goals here, really show a statement of intent. I'll bring off Gildi for Iramo, and we will probably rest Roller in a sec. Going to wrap him in cotton wool for a while, and there's not a lot of point in playing him at the moment. Paolini can now play on right wing. That's very interesting. I'll do that. That's a new development, that. And in the last couple of minutes, can we get one more goal just to show our complete dominance over this team? Well, a red card has happened, but Brigliadori's injury is obviously not ideal. Had a very good game and was on a hat-trick. And that will be that, I think. Obviously a bit of extra injury time because of the injury, but a fantastic win, albeit perhaps not as dominant as I would have liked. Given the start that we had, it would be nice to get 5 or 6, but still a very, very good performance nonetheless. And 8 points the gap now to Taranto, who are the new leaders. It's been that Foggia have drawn. So 8 points the gap. It was 9 before. So making it up gradually. It's not impossible we could win this league. It's not impossible. Good to see DiMarco settling into that left wing role a little bit. And I hadn't noticed that Paolini can now play on the right wing. That is definitely new. Wouldn't want to play him as a winger. So what I'll probably do now, just so I don't have to worry about it in future, this is a little tip for anyone who's fairly new, put him into that position and then personalise the role that you want him to play. And I think I'm going to want him as an inverted winger. I think it's probably going to be his best role. Advanced playmaker, that's what he's going to be. He's going to be a wide advanced playmaker. I don't use that role very often, but a wide advanced playmaker for Paolini could be very interesting. Great to see all this fantastic work going on between our midfield. It's really starting to come together, clearly. 3-man midfield is not something I use often. But I will be back for the US Stabia game. They may have fallen off the top of the table, but they're still a big, big threat to us. And in fact, they're only a point ahead of us, so it will be nice for us to get through to the top echelons in the next couple of games. I will be back in a second. And as suspected, Brigliadori's goal was the fastest goal ever scored in Zaffarana's history. Hard to imagine us breaking that. 16 seconds is very, very quick. 28 seconds was the previous record from the Ultramarine. Now at Lecce, interestingly. Of course, he was only on loan from them in the first place. Not played much for them. I wonder whether we might be able to get him back at some point. Do we even want him? I'm not sure. Possibly not. But yeah, Brigliadori enters our record books, which are starting to become a bit more populated by some interesting numbers now. So hopefully these are things that we can continuing to break on a regular basis. Jubilato is that's bizarre. Would not have thought that was the case. Jubilato is still our highest transfer fee paid ever. Wasn't exactly a success. And Ervin Omic, our biggest transfer fee received. And goodness me, Pisa made a big loss on him after just a year. You've made the right decision on Omic. He's not a bad player, but for that kind of money, definitely a good thing to do. So I'll be back in a second then with the Juve Stabia game. Right, so here we are against Juve Stabia. I'm going to play Latelat on the wing instead of DiMarco because whilst he's been playing well, he's clearly not entirely fit. So that makes sense. I think other than that, I'm pretty happy with this side. Pellegrini has been doing better recently. Got a few assists and a goal. I assume at least a couple of those assists were from long throws. I've seen a couple of them recently, which I wasn't doing earlier in the season. I don't know whether that's partly because I've got more highlights on than I used to. I play the games that I play on here on the YouTube videos. I play on extended highlights usually. Occasionally I forget. I think I might have forgotten for the first game, in fact. But obviously I don't see as many throw-ins. Oh dear. I was going to say I don't see as many throw-ins when I'm playing on key highlights for fairly obvious reasons. That was a silly goal to concede. And game that we really ought to be winning given the form of the two teams. Gildy, good tackle there, but doesn't really lead to anything. And they're in again. I think we are defending quite well here, though. Until then. Of course, I put the mockers on it. Pellegrini. Shiro finds Castelli. He's through and misses. Just never felt like he was ready to score that one. No composure. Gildy. Shiro finds Rolla. Getting in at that right-hand post again. Scoring another goal. He really is becoming a very, very good player for me. Getting more consistent. That was a big problem in the first half of his... Well, maybe mainly last season, really, is that he was massively inconsistent. He's getting more so now. You can see a lot. He had those 2 poor performances, but the last 4 performances have all been impressive. Well, it's 3, but now he's got a 4th, obviously. Once you've got a goal, he's unlikely not to be on green by the end of the game. Hopefully we can turn this around and actually win this game now. Marino finds Rolla. He's in. Takes it wide again and wins the penalty. And, oh no. I don't know why this has happened. Right, I'm quite glad this happened on video. This is the first time this has happened on video. If anyone knows how you solve this problem, it only happens very occasionally, but I don't know what the trigger is. So, someone thought it might be because the person who was due to take the penalty had left, but that's not the case today because Gioldi is playing, and Castelli is also playing, and they are our top 2 penalty takers. So it's not that today. So I don't know why it's frozen. There is only one workaround I know for this, and it took a long time to find that. So if anyone knows how to avoid this happening, then let me know. But the only way I know of is... Actually, no, there's a new way now because of this skin. One way, and if anyone's not using this skin, is to go to game status and you can relinquish control. I think it thinks I'm playing a network game at this point. Not sure why. So you can click relinquish control and that will effectively go on holiday for a day. The other way now that I have this skin, is to do this button here, which is effectively simulate the rest of the match. There's no way of using a match plan, but that's okay. And we will see what happens here. Given that we were 1-1 and having a penalty, I hope we've won this. Well, we did. 5-2 on this occasion. Looks like Rolla got at least 1 more. Can't scroll down though, so it's down here. Rolla got 2. Gioldi, Latilat and Marino. Good to see. And we're only 6 points behind Taranto now. So with that gap closing so significantly, it really does start to look like we could actually win this league. We're in pretty good form, really. If you look at the number of wins we've had, we're not really drawing games. That's why we are probably about to break a record for the most wins in a season. And it is certainly not impossible that those 6 points could be made up in the next 5 games. I think at this point we almost certainly do need to win all 5 of our remaining games, but it's not impossible that we could do that. Foggia is going to be the toughest of that game. So I think, assuming it's still alive at that point, I will be back for the Foggia game and then the Latina game if necessary. So what I'll probably do is show you the youth intake, show you the first game of anyone who makes a debut after that. But failing that, it will be Foggia and then maybe the Latina game. So it may just be one more video until the end of this season. Barring, of course, the playoffs, which are probably going to happen. So the end of this normal league season anyway. So do join us tomorrow for hopefully what might be a charge towards a possible title. It's still just about alive. It's frustrating, really. You look at a couple of the games that we've lost. Teams like Messina, who are not that good, Catania, Avellino, could have won those games. And, you know, with 9 more points, we're top of the league. In fact, with 7 more points, we're top of the league. So it's disappointing in some ways, but let's face it, we're doing pretty well, particularly given that we didn't make a great start to the season. We had that spell in October and November where we lost 5 games in a row, and I was at one point thinking about maybe getting the sack, and that would have been pretty disastrous. But we've turned it around nicely. Francesco Rolla back, doing really well, scoring goals in most games, getting assists often when he doesn't, and it's really good to see. So hopefully tomorrow we will have some good news. If not promotion, then at least perhaps the quarterfinals of the playoffs. And at the point where we get straight into the quarterfinals, I don't think it's impossible that we go on and win them. It's hard, but not impossible. So join us tomorrow, and you never know. Fingers crossed. See you, folks.